pipes.
Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Greetings from Cybertron. I am Phil, and over there is Kona Prime.
Yeah, this is Matt. Sorry for the delay. If you're watching live, I let my schedule get around me. Get around me? I messed up. I'm here though.
It's like squeezing you. You're like getting around you.
Yeah, there was traffic coming back from Mount St. Hilary, and I'm here.
Those darn cars that drive themselves.
I know.
Like a driver. You know what? I was thinking about that. I was thinking we had nothing to talk about for the issue, but I was just thinking about it. Remember last issue, or oh no, that's this issue. No, we'll get to that.
Don't jump ahead. Last
I was
issue,
gonna say. I was thinking
it ended in a cliffhanger. We just found out Sparkplug Witwicky was rescued with the help of Spider-Man, but there's a revelation that he helped convert fuel for the Decepticons so they can power up.
It was literally a cliffhanger until what was it? Gears fell off the cliff.
It was a cliffhanger and a ground lander. There's one. All right.
So should we get to this?
Let's do it.
All right. Like we said, Transformers issue 4, number 4 in a 4-issue limited series. Yeah, right.
At least number 4 in a 4-issue storyline.
Yes. I was gonna say, do you want to start us off? I think I started us off last time.
Yeah, absolutely. So go all the way back to March 1985, and you see a battle taking place on the front. Optimus Prime back against the wall, firing into the Decepticon onslaught. Open up to page 1. Again, I got a GoBots ad. I don't know what you have.
Yeah, GoBots.
Okay, I think because this is, I assume you have your original copy. I have a first printing. It doesn't say any other print details, so I assume
yes,
on the level.
Yes, I do believe that. I don't see anything that says second or third printing, so I'm assuming it is first printing.
Yeah, issue 3 was probably printed quite a lot because of the popularity of Spider-Man. So they did Spidey did his job, Symbiote's help, and now here we are within Oregon's Mount St. Hilary. Most of the Autobots are continuing in their efforts to repair their huge starship, the Ark, damaged upon its crash landing on Earth. The others have a more urgent concern, the apparent creation of a fuel conversion process for their enemies, the evil Decepticons, engineered by Sparkplug Witwicky, auto mechanic and father of their friend and ally, Buster Witwicky. And then you see the Autobots kind of looking concerned, looming over the father-son duo. Sparkplug is he's answering to his son. Buster says, "Dad, say it isn't so. Let me explain, son. For they should know that should the Decepticons be able to change Earth's fossil fuels into a near limitless energy supply, the Autobots may be all that stands between the Decepticons and world conquest." Boom, boom, the last stand. I'm gonna dish out the credits. Jim Solicrop is the writer, recently retired. Frank Springer does the pencils. Akin and Garvey with the inks. John Workman, the letters. Nell Yomtov, colors. Bob Badiansky, editor. Jim Shooter, editor-in-chief.
All right, so we turn to page 2, and who is that? Hoffer, I believe, says, "That does it. Already on this mudball planet, Bumblebee, Sideswipe, Brawn, and Gears have been knocked out while protecting humans. And for what? So a human can help the Decepticons destroy us all." And I'm assuming that's a word box, but it's it's like right next to the word bubble. It says, "Huffer's words hit hard. Even Ratchet pauses to reflect as he labors to repair the fallen Gears." as he says, even I find it difficult to be my usual cheerful self when my friends are being blown apart all around me. And Sparkplug, well, I'd say he was trying to get in Huffer's face, but he's not tall enough. Are you
got into his kneecap?
That's right. Are you calling me a traitor? Why, when I was fighting back in Korea. And Huffer says, I'll show you how we deal with traitors. And Ironhide says, stop. You forget how frail the humans are. The Decepticons abducted him. He could not help but cooperate. And we get an editor's note that was last issue. And Huffer says, have your logic circuits decayed with age, Ironhide? Do you defend him? And Ironhide says, listen, young one, you know as well as I do that the Decepticons are capable of getting what they want by any means, including torture. And Huffer says, so what? This is war.
Wow.
I know, so what? So what? He's trying to give in to torture because it's war?
It's not even his war. He just got roped into this. His son comes home late from the drive-in, and all of a sudden he's in an intergalactic war on his home planet inside a volcano.
So, or what Huffer's saying, this is war. I don't blame the Decepticons. I blame that weak fleshling.
Pink guy.
Yeah. So, Sparkplug grabs Buster by the hand and says, there's too many loose screws around here. Come on, let's get out while we still can. And Buster thinks, I've never seen the Autobots act like this before. And then we see Blue Streak say to Optimus, Huffer's right, Optimus. The humans have just as much to lose as we do. And Optimus says, yes, Blue Streak, but we brought this war here. It's our responsibility, not theirs. And Blue Streak says, though you are leader of the Autobots, I must disagree. The humans must pay for their treason. I say, let's fix the Ark and leave this horrible planet. Let the Decepticons rule this weak-willed race of traitors.
Wow.
And
drastic
and
measures.
I just started your page. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. You kind of got roped into the argument.
I'm excited. I want to see what happens.
This is war, okay? I
know.
And then the voice of reason, of course, speaks out as going over. Enough to debate further is not only useless but dangerous. We cannot afford to waste any more time while the Decepticons undoubtedly are preparing a final assault against us. It matters not how the Decepticons got their fuel, but how fast we can make our own. See, Optimus Prime, bring a little bit of reason here. And then Mirage speaks up. Great, Optimus is right. If Huffer had harmed the human, all would be lost. The Decepticons are at full power now, while our fuel levels are frighteningly low. And then back at it again is Sideswipe? No, trying to say the characters correctly.
Is it Jazz, Huffer, and Ironhide?
It's Huffer. It's Huffer. I think you say if you stop babbling for a moment, Mirage, you discover that your heroic humans are making a run for it. Never fear, Jazz. I'll make sure they won't get far. As he shoots from his gun what looks like a big ball of flames, and the Witwickies are running. We're almost there. Sparkplug says, "What the?" And a wall of fire from Jazz's flamethrower blocks the human's path. The pain! Dad! Buster, his Sparkplug falls to the ground. What is it? What's wrong? What do you think? What's wrong? He was just assaulted with a flamethrower by a giant robot.
Help!
All right, so... but then we turn the page, and meanwhile...
we turn the page and flip the channel.
Yes.
See a TV set.
Because we see a TV. It says, the world still wonders who and what were those strange beings in Oregon. Or obviously there's more than meets the eye. There we go. The army still has their bizarre base surrounded, but everything is quiet now. The robots are inside. But for how long will peace be maintained? These and many other questions are tonight's topic on Nightline.
Ooh, a little Ted Koppel cameo voiceover.
Yeah. And we see it's in a bar, and we see O sitting there, and he's thinking, why haven't they said anything about my best friend Buster and his dad? Doesn't Ted Koppel know Sparkplug was kidnapped by the evil robots? And then we see a blue hand grab O by the shoulders. He goes, huh? It says, greetings, Earthling. Take me to your leader. And we see it looks like a shrunken Optimus Prime. And O goes, yow. And then we see the Optimus say, calm down, son. It's me, your old man. And O says, oh, I get it. This is a joke. Ha ha. Very funny, Dad. And then we see his dad take the head off the costume. So what's eating you? Oh, even his dad calls him O. What's eating you? Oh, this robot stuff is great for business. The place is packed with reporters and worried townsfolk. With this costume, I might wind up in People magazine. O says, that's great. If they start shooting nukes at us, you'll really clean up, huh? I want no part of this. And his dad says, well, how do you like that? That's the problem with kids today. No gratitude. And O's thinking he's nuts as he walks out the bar, which we see from the sign in the last panel is called Mr. O's.
Wow. Sounds like a cereal bar.
So I'm assuming their last name is O. So he calls the son O.
That's strange. I mean, hey, he's all about brand building, apparently.
I guess.
And really quick cosplay costume making.
I know.
Think about that.
I'm like, did he make that himself, or were they already manufacturing like Transformer costumes? Who got close enough to like? I guess they got the specs off the TV footage, but still.
Right. It's the last day or so. It's still 1980s technology. What are you doing with that? How are you making that happen? Looks pretty good, but
I mean, seriously, only one of their battles was on TV, right? That one last issue.
Yeah, and I don't know if they got that close for the details, but
the costume looks pretty close.
It is nice.
But yeah, I love the branding. The dad's like, "Hey, everyone, come in! I'm Mr. O. This is my son O."
It's like George Foreman naming all of his kids George.
I know. And I wonder if you could be like, here, come sit down. My wife, Olivia, will get you some drinks.
He could open a dinner theater with his cousin, Mr. Ease.
Enigma. So O walks outside and sees a car driving away. Says, "That's the Roland's car. What's going on?" And they say, "We're leaving town." O, see, that branding works.
Yeah.
You and your dad should do the same if you have any sense.
She's like, "Well, I do. My dad is a lunatic." And so we flip the page, and after we, that is after we complete our Fig Newton's treasure chest maze. Of course, Fig Newton's invented here in Newton, Massachusetts, and we see some babes in a ballerina studio. Meanwhile, at ballet class, attended by Buster's girlfriend Jessie, is asking, "What is it?" One of the girls there. It looks like the Rolands are leaving town. They've packed everything, including the kitchen sink. Now, I can't see a actual kitchen sink, but that's probably some exaggeration. I really can't believe anyone would take this robot business seriously. And then just thinking, there's no escape from this madness. I thought coming here would take my mind off Buster for a little while at least, but knowing that he is risking his life to save his father is eating me up inside. Guess I was only fooling myself. I can't stop wondering if I'll ever see Buster again. While back at the Ark.
I wonder if Jess takes a ballet class with her best friend, Jesse's girl.
Yeah. Also a Cars song from Massachusetts. This is a real Massachusetts heavy reference section. That's probably why I'm reading this page. So back at the Ark, you get the man that Mr. O dressed up as, presumably Optimus Prime. The real Mr. O says, "Is your father still functioning?" And Buster, "My father's not a machine. He's flesh and blood." Perhaps I can help. It's Gears offering to support. "And if we don't get him to a hospital fast, he'll die." So Gears starts transforming.
No, it's Ratchet.
Oh, Ratchet. I'm sorry. Ratchet is the repairer. He tightens the gears.
Yeah, they get some of the coloring funky here, so I see how you. Yeah,
I'll get it. After all, Ratchet is an Autobot above all, but thanks to the Ark, I am also an ambulance. And so he does the transformation. Optimus picks up Sparkplug. I hope your father can be repaired, ignoring the fact that he is not a machine, as the desperate Buster yelled at him just a few panels ago.
And Optimus after he picks up Sparkplug, picks up some of those Star comics on the next page. All right, and next page, as Buster, quote unquote, drives Ratchet, he says, "Just point me in the right direction, and I'll go as fast as I can." Because remember when he got in Bumblebee, and he's like, "Hey, there's no gas pedal or anything." We'll get to that. That's part of my problem. And Buster says, "I pray we make it in time." Then Sparkplug Wiki remains semi-conscious as Buster says, "Hang in there, Dad." And Sparkplug's, I guess, hallucinating. He says, he's thinking, he's moaning. His mind is filled with memories of other times and other places such as Korea, 1952. Oh, I should have had the MASH theme ready.
Suicide is painless. That's the theme for MASH.
Then we see Sparkplug back in 52 sleeping in an army truck as the driver says, "I envy you, Sparky. I'd give anything to get a little sleep. But if you and this truck aren't delivered to the 4067th MASH unit," because wasn't the TV show the 4077th?
Wow, yeah.
See what they're playing off of. If I don't get you the 4067th MASH unit in time, my goose will be cooked. This is all your fault, old friend. If you weren't such a hotshot mechanic, they wouldn't need you to repair their ambulances. And you see a kaboom as the truck is just like blown off the road. And we see, I assume, 2 Korean soldiers because their word bubbles are translated from Korean. "Our mine killed one of the American soldiers. You are our prisoner." And then they show the Americans had him working on trucks. Now the Koreans have him working on trucks. And because Sparkplug's, "I suppose I'm lucky they find me useful. Who knows what they would do to me otherwise? They're watching my every move. Somehow I've got to get out of here before they try to shoot me with a flamethrower."
And as Sparkplug continues to dream, the Ratchet pulls up with Buster to the emergency entrance to the hospital. "Thanks, Ratchet, we made it." "What?" The confused hospital worker says, "This isn't one of our ambulances." Buster says, "My dad's real sick. You have to help him." Within seconds, Sparkplug is admitted. "Looks like a heart attack," doctor says. "Have Dr. Garrett meet us in the OR." After answering what seems like a billion questions, Sparkplug's talking to a nurse. The nurse asks him, just one last question. "Where did you get that ambulance?" My dad's an auto mechanic. It was in the lot." And so Buster's staring at the operating room, thinking to himself, "There's nothing more I can do now." Or is there? And he runs to a payphone, which there are still payphones around, but it's a relic of a different time. Meanwhile, another kind of war pun. Meanwhile, all's quiet on the Decepticon front. As we see tanks approaching Mount St. Hilary, a soldier looking through his binoculars and he says, "Look alive, because here we go again."
And next page, from the fortress emerges the Decepticon leader Megatron, refueled and at full power. As he walks out and says to the soldiers, "Go ahead, little ones, do your worst." And one of the soldiers says, "Fire, let him have it." And we just see bam, bram, kabam, kapow, butta butta. And I guess it's a general or something saying, "That's it, don't spare the artillery." As the boxes say, the army hits Megatron with everything short of nuclear missiles. The barrage lasts 15 minutes. And when it's over and the smoke finally clears, Megatron is still standing. As he just gets a smirk on his face and goes, "Ha!" and walks back to the fortress. And one of the soldiers says, "So what do we do now?" And the other one says, "We call the president."
Yeah, I'm sure they had a couple different phone calls. They probably don't have a direct line, but he'll get there.
We'll get Reagan
will get it. Yeah, they'll call Reagan on the White House rotary phone eventually, and then you see
Mr. Megatron, tear down that fortress.
And so you see Megatron addressing the Decepticons who are in the process of refueling and assessing the damage. What's the damage? And then he's being told the Autobots have knocked out Frenzy, Rumble, Skywarp, and Soundwave. Skywarp requires the most extensive reconstruction, Great Megatron. It is most unfortunate that Megatron allowed the human to return to the Autobots. Even now, our enemies may be refueling, returning to full fighting strength. Perhaps another's judgment is called for at this time. Ooh, Starscream's starting to plant the seeds of a mutiny.
Oh, yeah.
Megatron, not happy. Starscream, I'm afraid I've heard enough, and blasts him with his bazooka. Let those who defy Megatron taste the power of my fusion cannon. Blam! Sends him flying into the white, assumingly out of their stronghold. And then one of the other Decepticons, add Starscream to the damage report. And Megatron says, despite his treasonous tone, Starscream at a point. Ravage, go to the Ark and report back to me on the Autobots' progress. And ever loyal, Ravage says, as you command, still in Panther form.
All right, so next page we go. Meanwhile, back at the Ark, Optimus is saying, after all our struggles on this world, our situation is worse than ever. And Huffer, perhaps not after he's calmed down, perhaps not Optimus. And Optimus says, what is it, Huffer? Something Ratchet had tried to tell you earlier. He found something in the Ark's memory banks. Something that happened shortly after he crashed on this planet 4 million years ago. And Optimus said, how does this concern us now? Huffer, even though all aboard the Ark were inactive, the Ark's defense systems were still functioning, and they detected another Cybertronic life form on this tiny planet, there on the ice-covered landmass Earthling called Antarctica. The Ark immediately dispatched the drone to investigate. Its only mission, seek out the Cybertronic life form and to determine if it posed a threat to the Ark. In a volcano-ringed valley... the volcano-ringed valley in Antarctica. What could that be? The editor's note says, longtime Marvel readers will recognize this place as the Savage Land, prehistoric domain of the present-day Khazar.
Star of many a Christmas issue of Marvel Age cover. I think it goes on like 5 straight.
Inhabited by weird alien creatures. They're talking about dinosaurs. Some even larger than ourselves. The drone found its answer. The Cybertronic life form was none other than the Decepticon known as Shockwave. And
so you see Shockwave just blasting Tyrannosaurus Rex in the chest. I need not tell you that Shockwave's power is second only to Megatron's. His total command of the electromagnetic spectrum allowed Shockwave to coldly examine with super powerful X-rays this planet's life forms. The drone recognized Shockwave as a threat and alerted the Ark. It also relayed information on what it perceived to be Earth's dominant mechanical life form, dinosaurs. To protect itself, the Ark adapted 5 Autobots so they could disguise themselves as per its programming as these life forms. The results were the Dinobots. Snarl. And that is, I'm a little rusty on my dinosaur lingo. That's not a Triceratops, not that one. Snarl is the one with just the spikes in the middle.
Yeah.
Then Grimlock, which is a T-Rex. Swoop is a pterodactyl. Sludge is like a shorter, I don't know if he's really like a brontosaurus, but it's walks on 4 legs, got kind of a smaller neck. And the Triceratops is Slag. The Dinobots used the shuttlecraft to fly to this strange island to confront and destroy Shockwave. At this point, Shockwave detected the drone that was monitoring him and jammed its signal with his powerful radio waves. As we see the video screen they're watching go completely black.
And the next page we see Optimus say, so the question is, what happened to Shockwave and the Dinobots 4 million years ago? And Huffer says, Ratchet has dispatched a probe to investigate, Great Optimus. And Optimus says, fine, it matters little now. Without new fuel, all we can do is prepare for our last stand against the Decepticons. Somehow we must find a way to overcome, for our sake and for the sake of this planet. But meanwhile, unseen by all, Ravage lurks in the shadows, where he calls in his reports to Megatron. As he says, the time to strike is now. The human failed to provide the Autobots with fuel. At last, the Autobots are at our mercy. And at the Decepticon stronghold, Megatron says, at last, victory is within my grasp. Soon that self-righteous Autobot will be nothing but scrap. He's had this coming for centuries. He will learn that no one can defy Megatron, as we see Starscream come flying back in and transform. Isn't that right, Starscream? Yes, great Megatron.
Okay, Dino update. Snarl is a Stegosaurus. That's what that is. And we see, meanwhile, you see all the Autobots in incubators of some sort. Standing at the ready, Autobot says, let the process begin. All but Ratchet and the disabled Autobots stand within the Ark's tubes of transference. The Ark's computer takes over as thousands of cables, wires, and tubes attach themselves to the Autobots. And as you see, Optimus Prime thinking, this may be my last gambit against the Decepticons. As you see lightning or electricity flowing between all of the Autobots. Suddenly, the air becomes alive with the sound and fury of raw power. The transference process begins. The tubes of transference drain what little fuel remains in one group of Autobots to re-energize Optimus Prime, Huffer, Ironhide, Blue Streak, and Mirage. Soon, it's all over. Five Autobots stand ready for battle. And they're all pumped up. They're fired up. Come on, Decepticons, do your worst. We're ready for you. Let me at Megatron. And then Optimus Prime. The process worked. It's now up to us to stop the Decepticons. Despite their bold words, each Autobot privately ponders the chance he really has against the dread Decepticons. I think it means dreaded, but it just says dread Decepticons.
Yeah.
Maybe they're Rastas now, and they all have dreadlocks, courtesy of 1985 Sparkplug Wiki.
And next
Probably not. I'm just pontificating.
They shall all soon learn the answer, as we see with the Dacoom. A big hole gets blasted in the side of the mountain. We're under attack. An Optimus. That was Megatron's way of letting us know he has come. And outside we see his cannon still smoking. Megatron, as much as I would enjoy ripping you limb from limb, I'm giving you a chance to surrender, Optimus. And Ironhide says, what are we waiting for? Let's get them. Let's get him. And Optimus says, no, that's exactly what he wants, so he can pick us off easily. Let him come to us. Minutes pass until... you were right. Here they come, as we see Laserbeak and Buzzsaw come flying in. And they're... What was that? Laserbeak shooting in front of Mirage with a blam. He says, what is this? Some kind of trick? And we see Mirage say, you guessed it, Laserbeak. Mirage wasn't always where he seems to be. That's why I'm called Mirage. And right now I wish I wasn't here at all.
And then as you see Ravage pouncing, who's he? Is on Mirage, right?
Yep.
Mirage retreats back into the Ark, only to be confronted by Ravage. Not you again. Editor's note.
Where's the editor note?
They first clashed in issue number 2. Bob. And then Ravage says, yes, me, and this time I'll finish the job I started. Mirage says, this is insane. We're both from Cybertron. Why must we fight? His attack caught me off guard, he thinks. I dropped my rifle. As you see, Ravage snap his jaws around Mirage's arm right at the elbow. I'm not here to debate, but to bite. Roar. And then Mirage desperately reaches for his gun. I forgot how crazy these decepts can be. As Ravage continues to growl and tear at him. He gets his gun, though, and he turns it on Ravage, shoots him right in the side of the head. Then chew on this. Tell me how my armor-piercing liquid fuel darts taste. Ravage is laid out, smoke coming from the wound, as now one-handed Mirage marches on. No answer, eh? After that meal, you deserve a cat nap. I'm going outside where I belong, fighting alongside my brothers. I finally realized that is the only way I'll ever see Cybertron again. And then we see some video monitor footage while within the Ark, a signal is picked up from the probe.
And we see half a world away. It has located a centuries-lost being from Cybertron beneath tons of iron ore. The probe signals the Ark that it will begin excavation procedures, but its initial digging stirs more than the rocks, as we see it going beep, 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 as it interrupted with a crunch in a purple hand. Suddenly, its signal stops. Unfortunately, the Autobots are too busy to notice. The Decepticons are coming in. Thundercracker's sonic boom is bringing the mountain down around us. And then we see Buzzsaw coming in, blasting at the Autobots, as he says, the better for Buzzsaw to blast you to bits. But then Optimus shoots at both of the Decepticons. Find cover, Autobots. I'll keep these birds busy. Poom, poom. And Buzzsaw, you missed Optimus. Could the mighty Autobot warrior be getting old and slow, Thundercracker? And Thundercracker says, it appears that way, doesn't it?
Dun-dun. One after another, the Decepticons enter Mount St. Hilary, pushing the attack. And you see Megatron. I'm coming for you, Optimus. Our war is nearly ended. Too many of my men stand between me and Optimus. My fusion cannon would destroy them as well. Then you have, who's that saying that?
I think it's Megatron thinking himself.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. Bah! A small price to pay to rid myself of my constant foe forever. But before Megatron can fire, and you say here, I'm thinking, I fired both of my rockets at oh wait, no, is that Optimus? Optimus, I fired both of my Megatrons. I'm slipping up. His word bubbles look like marshmallows. I fired both of my rockets at Megatron, and he's still standing. Megatron says, what's this? Are you trying to get my attention, little one?
Ooh.
Optimus's power is unbelievable. He snatched me while I was in flight. Must change to my warrior mode. You see Optimus just grabbing Blue Streak. Starscream, rather. Going somewhere, Starscream? Huffer, Blue Streak's in trouble with Megatron. I'm on my way. While at the hospital, you see the mysterious Ratchet ambulance thinking to himself, still no word on the human's condition. Have they forgotten that I'm here? This is the only ambulance available, and we need it. And so the paramedics are jumping in there as Ratchet says, what? And then you say, did you hear that squeak? We'll get it fixed after we bring that heart attack victim. After we bring back that heart attack victim. And then you see Ratchet thinking, these men seem to mean well. I'll just keep quiet and help them. As he peels out. After all, it's the least I can do as a doctor, even if an Earthling is my patient, and it's better than waiting. And he speeds off.
Okay, so one, I guess there's a lot of heart attack victims. Just all the giant robots attacking, but still, shouldn't we have gotten a line? I don't think we ever get the line. Maybe these guys don't know a lot about like automotive vehicles because I don't see one line about, hey, there's no gas pedal.
Yeah, how are we just peeling off? Yeah, that's a good point.
All right, as Sparkplug Wiki is placed in post-op, his thoughts continue to drift back to a time 30 years ago. Yes, thank you. And we see him telling the Koreans, there, I've patched up your stinking trucks. Have a good trip. As the trucks pull out, he's thinking, this grease monkey may be their prisoner, but I'm still not out of the fight. But he remembers his rescue. And we see some of the soldiers freeing him and some of the other prisoners of war. Boy, are we glad to see your ugly mugs. And he smiles when he thinks of the fate he imagined the Korean trucks had met as they plunge off a cliff as a result of his tampering with their fuel and brake lines. But meanwhile, back in the present, 1985, we see Optimus thinking we've just about used up what fuel we gained, and the Decepticons seem stronger than ever. As he tells his Autobots, stand fast, they're coming through. And we see Huffer saying, I barely managed to save Blue Streak. He's scared bad. This isn't going well at all. As we see all the Decepticons just start charging into the cave. Megatron yells, prepare to be destroyed. And they all start blasting.
And then the fight continues when Megatron is blasting the gun from Optimus's hand. You're mine, Optimus. Arr! He reacts in pain after a swift boom and a zit. And then things continue as Autobots fall from the aerial strikes. Rat pow! And Huffer takes a. It looks like to the chest as he says, "Keep fighting, Blue Streak. Keep fight." Blue Streak. Huffer, are you all right? Let's see exactly how tough your Ironhide is, Ironhide, as the Decepticons continue to fire. Boom, boom, brada, brada. Like a surgeon's scalpel, Buzzsaw's beak slices through Mirage's armor. He goes right into his chest, right into the Autobots logo. And then Megatron is right about to throw a left hook at Optimus Prime, who is now lost his right arm. Your men are falling all around you. Now you shall join them. But Optimus uses a little elusiveness. Megatron misses him. What? He ducked. Good idea, Megatron. So powerful is the force of Megatron's swing that it carries him over 200 yards.
I love how he swings so hard he went the length of 2 football fields.
Yeah, I mean, listen, when you're throwing your weight around and you have the weight of a full-size giant robot, okay, I'll suspend some disbelief, but
yeah. All right, so despite hopeless odds, Optimus battles on as he grabs Ravage by the back of the neck. I'll get up, Ironhide. I'll handle Ravage. And then we see Ironhide say, Optimus, look out behind you, as we see Megatron's back up. And he shoots Optimus with a Cthulhu. At last, it is over, as he picks up Optimus. And Megatron stands supreme. But suddenly, we see all the Decepticons look like they're in pain. Arr, row, the pain. Can't stand it. Pain too intense. Arg, I'm burning up inside. This can't be happening. I won. I won't be cheated. Wow. At the hospital, we see Sparkplug's awake and Buster's telling Jesse and O. Jess, I'm glad you all made it. Dad's going to be all right, which is more than I could say for the Decepticons when Dad's corrosive fuel kicks in. And I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm happy to see that your father is well.
Wow. Yep.
What is this fuel you speak of?
And then you see the pile of Decepticon rubble as the Autobots stand confusedly victorious. One of them said, "What happened?" And Optimus says, "We won! We must have underestimated the humans' resourcefulness. Somehow he created a fuel that was able to eventually destroy the Decepticons from the inside. We and all who live in this world owe a debt to Sparkplug Witwicky." But then you hear a kablow as pieces of the volcano, it seems, or rocks, shower them, landing all over them.
And because something blasted a hole in the side, and above the fallen Autobots and Decepticons, a huge 35-foot-long ray gun hovers and transforms into Shockwave. Remember him from a couple pages back? And he says, standing there over all of the Transformers, and he says, after 4 million Earth years, I have accomplished my mission. The Autobots are no more. And it says, not the end.
Jeez. The Ice Age is coming. Wow.
Because, we had a letters page, and the first thing it says,
the first one.
The
Transmissions.
The Autobots defeated? The Decepticons victorious? They're probably all wondering about these questions and also asking, how could good old Marvel allow all this to happen in the last issue, the 4-issue Transformer Limited series? Well, before we address that, and then they have a bunch of letters until they tell you again.
You want to read the letters? They're all short. There's some quick ones.
I don't care.
All right.
Oh, we can take turns.
Yeah. All right, I'll start. Dear Sirs, your Transformers Limited series is great, spectacular. This is the best limited series that Marvel has ever published. Several of my friends agree with this opinion, so we decided to write you this letter about continuing this comic. We urge you to give this serious thought. That's John M. King, Campbellsville, Kentucky.
And Dear Jim, I wanted to say a few words about your new Transformers Limited series. Wonderful. Great idea. Stupendous. Magnificent. That was Carl L. LeBranc, Virginia Beach, Virginia.
I like that he said what he was going to do and he stuck to it. Those were a few words.
Yes.
Dear Marvel, I just finished reading your Transformers Limited series and I thought it was superb. I have a question. Since this robot stuff is getting pretty big, why don't you start a full-time Transformers series? Carl Davison. No address given. First of all, no one else's address is published. They're just their town, but he doesn't even want to put that. Carl Davison, very private.
Dear Sirs, I wish that Transformers would get its own monthly series. Ricky O'Connor, Saco, is that Maine?
Saco, Maine. Yeah, New England representing. Dear Autobot guys, the first issue of Transformers was great. David Whitworth, Nashville, Tennessee.
Dear Marvel, I just read the first issue of Transformers. It's great. It's awesome. I love it. But it says on the cover that it's a 4-issue limited series. I hope you make millions of issues. I intend to keep subscribing until you quit making Transformers or I turn 100. Randy Hampton, Laramie, Wyoming.
Wait, he doesn't leave his age, but hopefully he's not 98 or so, but we'll see. Also, can you subscribe to a limited series? Maybe you can subscribe through his comic store, but we'll move on. Marvel, I just picked up a copy of your newest comic, Transformers #1, and I loved it. For some reason, I get a kick out of talking cars and planes that are bent on destroying each other. Chris Carlberg, Tolland, Connecticut.
Dear Marvel, I'm pleading with you. Please continue to publish Transformers. Paul Wu, Cleveland, Ohio.
Dear editors, I love the Transformers. Too bad it has to be only a limited series. Jeffrey Wayne Bullock. So he went with passive aggressiveness for that one. I like that. He's from Scotland Neck, Texas. Sorry, Scotland Neck residents. Shout out to you. Jeffrey Wayne Bullock is his name.
Dear Jim, I'd like to send you an adjective that describes Transformers. Excellent. There's only one thing I really hate about this comic, this bi-monthly business. Mike Horkin, Willowitch, Ohio.
Dear Marvel Comics Group, Transformers #1 is great. LDR Flores, Oxnard, California.
And again, Marvel responds, all right already, we get the message. Not only do you, our beloved readers, think Transformers is great, but you want us to continue it as a regular series and make it a monthly? Well, who are we to deny you? On sale in February will be Trumpets, Please. Oh, wait a second. I think I can do that.
You got a trumpet handy?
Yep. Come on. If it ever opens up.
Clean your spit valve.
Yep.
That'd be a good name for a Transformer, too.
All right. So, on sale in February will be Trumpets, Please. More like a bugle, but no. Transformers 5, and it will be a Transformers with a new, even more exciting look, courtesy of an entirely new creative team. Vince Guarino, penciling superstar in the making, Brad Joyce, inker extraordinaire, and yours truly, Bob Budiansky, writer as I pass my editorial chores over to Jim Owsley. Ooh. With your continued support, Transformers should go on as a regular monthly book for a long time. And with a little luck, who knows? Maybe it will last long enough so Randy Hampton can buy it until he turns 100. And then you're not 99 and a half, are you, Randy?
Nice. Great minds think alike.
So I
didn't read it.
I wonder is like if they had stuck to the plan and just had a month, if it had only been 4 issues, would the issue would have ended with them, you know, the Decepticons hitting the ground, and they would Prime just would have been like, okay, that's it. Let's box these guys up, fix the arc, and go home.
Yeah. Or there's it. Wow, I guess Sparkplug Witwicky is not that great a mechanic. He made them some faulty fuel.
I know. Is Huffer now like, I'm glad he didn't make us any fuel?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. But the story continues. The podcast continues. The YouTube channel builds and builds from the rubble of the Autobots and the Decepticons as we find out what happens with our prehistoric time-traveling anti-hero, villain.
Oh, yeah. We'll get Shockwave. We'll get more Megatron. We'll get the Dinobots in a few issues. And remember, there's still an Autobot out there.
That's a good point.
Ratchet. Yes.
Yeah. And where's Bumblebee at, too, right?
Yeah, but I thought they said was he knocked out or something?
Okay. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Oh, we'll get there, Mycona.
Yeah. Okay. I don't want to rush things.
All right. So, do we have anything else to discuss?
I don't think I have any more anything as it relates to Transformers. I've been picking through bins. I got a couple later ones that will be much further down the road that were kind of hard to find. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to eventually getting to them and reading ahead.
Nice. All right, so everyone, send us your thoughts on the first 4 issues. Send your thoughts. You know, we've been trying to do this once a week, so send your thoughts before next week when we do Transformers 5. We can read your thoughts right here, capesandlunatics@gmail.com. Write to us, Greetings from Cybertrons on Facebook, on Twitter @GreetCybertron. And you can even send a voicemail, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And Matt Kona.
You can find me on social media networks @MattKona, MattKona. I just posted something on my Facebook. I was a guest on 2 different podcasts yesterday, both very well. One of them for sure has come out. It's a 25-minute long, odd, somewhat related to the TV show Entourage discussion called the Entourage Effect. And yeah, so you can download that or watch the video of it. Come see a comedy show if you like to laugh and live in the presumably Massachusetts region. And don't forget to listen to the show that Phil and I do with Will Allred, The Quantum Zone, where we talk about underrated 90s Marvel cosmic character Wendell Vaughn, aka Quasar.
Yeah, you beat me to it. Yeah, if you're a fan of Marvel Comics, yeah, check out The Quantum Zone, either here on the YouTube channel or on the Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks podcast. I think me and Matt have fun. Wait till you add Will into the mix. All right.
Perhaps the biggest Rage fan in podcast history, Will Allred.
And Cupcake fan, yes.
Yes.
he's sitting there going, no, I'm not. So yeah, Jude, if you want to check out the Quantum Zone, it'll tomorrow live on YouTube. If you're watching this video a couple days from now, scroll up. It should be right above this one. But yes, send us your thoughts on the Transformers. How general Transformers thoughts, any of the issues we already covered, issue 5, any of the ones coming up, we'll save them. We have the technology, we have the means. All right, Join us next time. For me, Phil, and Matt O. Kona over there. Because they have a better night than the Autobots.